There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
What's going on, everybody? I am Mike Macabre. Welcome to Macabre Mass, where we not only talk monsters, we make monsters. A place where we can both be monsters, see monsters. We even got G monsters. So, for today's video, we are going to rank the Michael Myers mask. Now, I know practically every horror content creator on YouTube has done this video. I know it's been done time and time again. So I thought about not even doing this. However, my list is very, very different from every list I have seen. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. It might even be a little bit controversial to some people. I don't care. This is how I feel. But either way, that's why I made the decision to do this. Because, you know, it's a bucket list thing to do. And not just that. Like I said, my list is a lot different from a lot of other people's, man. So let's get right on into this, you guys. At number 12, we've got Rob Zombie's H2 mask, man. It's only half a mask. I mean, at least the other mask, it is a mask, you know. It's a whole mask, right? Like, I don't like this at all, man. You can see half his face. It defeats the purpose. Like, why are you even wearing a mask at that point? You know, that like it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like the movie at all. But yeah, I don't like this mask, man. I don't like the fact that you can see so much of his face, man. Like I said, at least the other masks on this list are an actual whole mask. But yeah, man, not too much to say about this. I don't like this mask. I don't like this movie. On to number 11, we've got the Resurrection mask. I hate this mask. If Michael Myers was the type of person to get manis and petties, this would be the mask that he would wear. Seriously, man. Like, it's so, you know, I just don't like it. It doesn't, a lot of the masks, the way I go by and the way I judge the masks, is how close, not exactly how close, but how much lineage does it have to that original mask, you know? Like, it doesn't, I don't think it has to be the exact mask. I mean, the original mask, as we know, is such a beautiful mask, you know, but some of these are so far removed from that, and it's like, what were you thinking? You know, what were they thinking when this mask was approved, man? It's like you can tell their, you know, the heart wasn't in it, like, you know, and they kind of didn't know what they were talking about when they okayed these things. Just like, yeah, whatever, that'll work, or, you know, like, you know, it's not just a blank man mask, and I feel like that's what, you know, maybe a lot, I mean, I don't know for sure, but maybe a lot of them were thinking, like, oh yeah, that'll work, you know, that's you know, and it should be more effort put into it than that, you know. That's why some of these masks are much lower than the others. But let's keep it moving, you guys. On to number 10, we've got H5. Oh god, man, this mask it's so bad. It's so bad. Of course, I have it in my collection because, you know, it's part of it, right? You gotta accept the good with the bad, right? But it's got long hair, and you know, it just doesn't have that certain look to it that the mask needs. It's definitely one of the most far removed from the original, you know. It doesn't look anything at all like it, you know. The face is just completely off. It doesn't even look right, you know. I don't know, man. It's so this one I don't like. Obviously, I don't like the movie either. You know what I mean? But it does have at least the movie has Donald Pleasence in it. It's got that going for it. He's always amazing, right? But yeah, the mask is just terrible, you guys. Terrible. The H5 mask. I do not. No, don't like this mask. Not at all, you guys. On to number 9. We've got H4. Another mask. You know. I guess it's not the worst mask, I guess, but it's not good either. Like, think about how good the H4 movie is. For a lot of people, it's their favorite sequel. You know, H2 is my favorite sequel. However, H4, you know, comes a very close second to that. You know, I love H4. It's a great Halloween movie. If we would have gotten that original mask in H4, I mean, it would have been darn near a perfect movie. Like, it's so good. It's such a good movie, right? It is. And The Mask takes you out of it. That stupid, goofy, alien caught in headlights look, like, it just doesn't, the eyebrows are, painted, it just doesn't look good, man. It doesn't have a creep factor at all. I will say at certain angles in the movie, the mask looks okayish. It's not the worst from certain angles, but looking at it straight on, and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't have that oomph to it. It doesn't give me that feel when I look at it, and it's really unfortunate because the movie was so great, and that's one thing about the Halloween series, right? It seems a lot of the time either, we got a great movie and a bad mask, or a good mask and a movie. Like, it sucks that it's like we gotta sacrifice one for the other, man. It's nice to have both, it'd be nice. Can we have a good mask and a good movie? Like, that would be fantastic, it really would. But yeah, I got H4 at number 9. On to number 8, we've got H2O, and I'm not super fond of this mask either, just being honest. I don't completely hate it. Like, the other ones on this list that came before this, I pretty much loathe. Like, I don't like them at all. This has a few little redeeming, qualities to it. It's definitely not the worst, definitely not the best, but and obviously I didn't include in this list, the CGI mask and the K&B mask and also the pink mask from H4 and the bandage mask. There was no reason to do that, in my opinion, man. You only see these masks for a very tiny amount of time in these movies anyway. I'm just doing the real main mask here. And yeah, the H2O mask, man, I love this movie. This is another one. Like, a great movie with not a good mask. It sucks, man. If they should have stuck with the H6 mask in the beginning. It would have been eons better. Like, I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why. That first scene in the beginning is all that. It's all with the when he kills Nurse Marion, it's all the H6 mask. Like, y'all had it. Like, just use it. Use it. That's a great mask. Use that. Like, why would they even change and go through all these other different masks? It doesn't even make any sense at all, and that upsets me. So H2O is the first Myers movie that I got to see in the theater, so obviously it's very, very important to me. I hold it near and dear to my heart. My mom took me to the theaters to see this in 1998 when it came out. I'll never forget it, man. And so, of course, it's nostalgic for me. This movie is special to me. So that aspect might play a little bit to why I like this mask better than some of the others. I could be a little biased because of that nostalgia and stuff I feel for this movie. However, I mean, I feel like this mask is properly placed, kind of in the middle-ish, but it's not the worst, it's not the best. You see too much of his eyes, let's be honest, especially, that shot, the famous shot where the door closes and Laurie's standing right there with that, the oval window, and he's looked like you can see all the skin. It's like skin of his eyes, and in his eyes it's like pressed against his face, like that part of it kind of takes you out of it, because you immediately look at it and you're like, oh, no, that's not right, that doesn't look right. So yeah, man, H2O, love the movie, man. Not super fond of the mask, man. On to number 7, we've got Rob Zombie's H1 mask. Now, this is a good mask, right? It's a good mask. Hate the movie, I'll be honest. I am not a fan of the Rob Zombie movies, and I've said it before, my reasons why. They give us the whole backstory thing is just terrible. It's absolutely terrible, man. It really is. However, the mask is good. This is a good mask. I like this mask. It has qualities of that original mask. You can look at this mask and kind of see, that it was inspired by the original, and I respect that. And they also put their own little flavor on it and spin on it. I respect it. I like this mask. It's a good mask. I honestly prefer the clean version from the beginning of the movie, even though I hate all the backstory and the young Michael stuff in Rob Zombie's Halloween. I like the clean look of the mask. I like that mask the best out of all the Rob Zombie, the three different masks or whatever. That's my favorite. The clean version from the beginning. That is a cool mask. I mean, I like it too later on when it has the, you know, the warns. You know, it's all dirtied up and messed up. I do like that as well. But yeah, I like that clean version of the mask, man. I wish they would have went with that for the whole movie, man. That would have been awesome to me. And then in part two, they could have did the, you know, a little bit more worn from whatever, you know, the events or whatever would happen, you know, or whatever. However, yeah, I like the clean version, man. I like the Rob Zombie. I don't like this movie. If you take out the first half hour, 40 minutes, you take all the young Michael stuff out, the rest of it's great. I have no gripes with the rest of it. You know, it's Tyler Mane was great. The Mask was great. You know, it's not even that the movie itself was so terrible. It's the backstory is where they messed it up. That there's two rules to the boogeyman. You don't emasculate him. You don't tell his backstory. It's that simple. Those are the rules, man. You can't break those rules. And Rob Zombie broke that rule, man. And I don't hate Rob Zombie as a director either, man. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, you know. I don't hate Rob Zombie at all. I like what he does. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of all the, you know, ridiculous amount of profanity and the I don't even want to get into all the abuse and I don't like that stuff, man. I'm not fond of that, man. I'm not fond of that. But you know, he definitely has potential as a director. I don't know why they didn't give him Texas Chainsaw. I have no idea. However, we're not talking about the movies. We're talking about the mask. But even so, I'm going off on a rant. Rob Zombie's H1 Mask at number 7, you guys. On to number 6, we've got Halloween Ends. And of course, man, I love this mask. It's fantastic. Christopher Nelson's fantastic, man. That guy is, you know, who doesn't love that guy, right? We all have so much respect for this man and the masks that he's done for the new Halloween trilogy. Like all of us. I don't think I've heard one person complain about the mask. Not one person, and that says something. You know what I mean? Like that. This guy made an awesome mask, and I like the Halloween Ends mask. You know what I mean? It still got the burns from H-kills and everything, and then the blood coming out the side on the other side, and it's starting to mold. Like super cool, super awesome. Hate this movie to its core, man. I cannot stand Halloween Ends, but the mask was beautiful. The mask was absolutely fantastic, man. So on to number 5, we've got H40. So once, a mask from the trilogy, man. This mask was so beautiful. I know everybody, when this movie came out, and that first picture of the poster, because we got that awesome image of the side of the mask. I was so relieved when I seen it, and so happy, like, oh, it's so good. And I know a lot of other people felt the same exact way. Well, where a lot of us were like, oh yes, thank God, the mask. They got the mask right, and they did. Christopher Nelson is a genius, dude. He really is, man. He is a genius artist, bro. He's an amazing artist. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he actually, referenced latex masks that were over 40 years old to see the wear and tear and exactly what's going on. And he did his version of that to his sculpt, and it came out amazing. Not only does it looks like the original mask, very much so. Like, you look at the H40 mask, and it's like there's no deniability when you look at it. There's no, there's no way that's not. No, you look at it and you're like, oh man, yeah, that's the mask, man. That's the mask, just old and tattered, man. That's it right there. He did a great job. The mask is so cool. People have so much fun rehauling these masks, and there's a big market for it, man. I personally, I prefer to sculpt. I'm not a big rehauler guy, but they are fun. They are fun to do, But yeah, man, the H40 mask, man. There's so many beautiful, wonderful, great things we can say about this mask. This mask is awesome. On to number 4, we've got the H-Kills mask. The H-Kills. I know some people might be surprised that I actually have this above, the H40 mask, but I personally like it a little bit more. I mean, obviously it's the same mask, it's just I like the burn look on the side. I do. I think it gives it more character, man. You know, I'll admit I do. Like I said, I like the H40 a little bit more than the HNs. You know, because the HNs it's got the most. It's a little. It's a bit much. I love it still, but it's a bit much. I think the H kills is like perfect, man. Perfect. When I look, every time I look at that mask, I'm like, oh, that's so good. It is so good. In my opinion, the burning and the indentation that it caused, and oh man, it looks so cool, man. That mask has so much character. It's such a beautiful mask, you know. A lot of us were wondering in between movies, like, I wonder what Christopher Nelson's going to do this time with the mask to make it a bit different or whatever, and he knocked it out of the park each time, man. Absolutely. The Halloween Kills mask is the mask that I had the most fun ever rehauling. It's the best mask I've ever rehauled. I had so much fun painting it. Actually came out really good. I love that mask, man. It's one of the coolest masks in my collection is my H Kills mask. I really love that thing, man. It is such a good mask. I have no complaints. I have not one complaint about that mask or any of the trilogy masks. They're all super, super beautiful. That's why they are so high on this list, you guys. So let's get it, man. On to number 3. We've got H6. I love this mask. I don't care what anybody says. I love this mask. In my opinion, this is the best mask since the OG. It really is. I know there's I know there's people who disagree. There's some people who aren't very fond of this mask, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But me personally, I adore this mask, dude. I love it because you look at the H6 mask and you can see the hero in it all day. You can see that H1 mask. You can see that it has a lot of inspiration from that original mask, and definitely, like, you can see the poster mask in it, right? Like you can see that all day in the H6 mask. You know, you could tell they use that for reference when making this mask. And not just that though, but they also put their own spin on it, you know, and they did their own thing with it. And as an artist, I respect that very, very much. When somebody can take something, throw their spices on it, make it completely their own, while at the same time paying homage to the original artist. I love that. I love the H6 mask, man. I love it. I love the H6 Myers too. I know some people complain, like, you know, yeah, like he's got the little beer belly going or whatever. I love that. Listen, it's been some years later, man. You know, Myers put on a few pounds. He's a little bit older, man. I love it. I love it. And the mask has that look too. The mask looks a little bit like beefier, don't it? Like it kind of looks like Myers on steroids a little bit. Like he's a little bit huskier, you know? I love it. I've always loved this mask. It's always going to be one of my favorite masks. I mean, what can I say? Like, it's a really good mask. I don't understand some people's complaints about it. I don't get it. Comparatively, aside from the trilogy masks, I completely understand if people got those at you know, as even the number 1 on their list. I'm not mad at that. They're so good. So I have no gripes when it comes to that. But like people who have H6, like, you know, real low on their list, I don't get it. It's like, I don't understand what they're seeing. It's such a good mask, man. It's a beautiful Myers mask. It is awesome, man. You know, like, and definitely when you look at the original movies, you know, it not including the trilogy, in my opinion, the H6 mask is for sure the best mask other than the original. I don't see how anybody could see the H4 or the H2O or the Resurrection. I don't see how anybody could think that those masks are better than the H6. I don't get it. That mask is awesome. What do you mean? Like, to me, H4, H5, H2O, Resurrect, none of those masks, none of them even come close to comparing to me to how good the H6 mask is. So, I don't understand people's gripes. So let me know in the comments section how you feel like about the H6 mask. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. I know there's a lot of other people who love this mask as well, man. So for sure, man, I might be controversial to some people. I got H6 as number 3 on my list. On to number 2, the H1 mask. And I know that this definitely might shock some people that I've got this mask here at number 2. Let's not get it messed up. I absolutely adore this mask. I absolutely love this mask. This mask is so iconic and so perfect, and it's the best mask we've ever got, not just in Halloween, but in the horror community, period. It is the best slasher mask. It's the best mask in horror. It is. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I've seen the mask millions of freaking times already. You know, I see it every day, all day, and I'm still not tired of it. I could still look at that mask and be like, oh God, it's so good. It's so good. So, which leaves it not, no surprise, honestly, there's only one left. The H2 I have at number 1. And for those that might think about it, the H2 is still the OG mask. It's still that same exact original mask. So I still have the original as my number 1. And honestly, if you ask me on another day, a few weeks from now or something like that, it might change in my brain, and I might be on my H1, feeling the H1 that day, because it is so perfect. But I really, really love the way the mask looks on Dick Warlock's face, man. I do. I love the grimy, dirty, stretched out this way, widened look with the snarl and I love it. There's something special, really special about the H2 mask, which of course, it's no surprise. We all know it, but we all know that the H2 mask is the H1 mask. That's not some kind of secret anymore. It's funny when you hear people that are like, did you know, like, trying to tell me as if I didn't know. There's so many people when they find out that I love Myers, but like, did you know that was a Captain Kirk mask? And I'm like, oh, for the love of God, of course I knew that, dude. You're just catching up. Us nerds have known this forever, dude. But yeah, it has a very, the H2 mask has a very, very ominous look to it, almost this like sad like. I can't explain it. There's something about when I watch H2 and I see that mask where I'm like, it's so good. It's just so good. I just love it. I love that. The ambulance picture with the Coke can. So awesome, dude. So awesome. I love that shot of the mask. It's so creepy looking. It's so demented looking. Well, I don't know what it is. Of course we know Dick Warlock had a wider face and Nick had a longer face, thus why they look so much different. But there's just something about that. I just love the look of the H2. It is the fact that it's, stretched out this way, but it's just the dirtiness and the griminess and the nastiness of it. It looks like a dirty, nasty psychopath mask. It does. It's so good. Absolutely love it. However, for those of y'all, it's still the original mask. It's still the OG mask. The OG mask is my favorite mask. Like I said, some days like the H1 might be my favorite. I've definitely, like, as far as sculpting goes, I've sculpted the H1 and made more attempts to sculpt the H1 way more than the H2. The H2 is a much, much harder, in my opinion, mask to sculpt, man, because if you look at the H2 mask in different points of the movie, it looks different. It literally looks different. So it's almost like, man, you kind of got to pick a photo of reference, and if you're going to sculpt H2 and like stick with that photo, because each photo of the H2 mask and the different scenes, it looks different depending on angle and whatnot. It looks different at certain points. But I love the H2. I love the H1 mask. Love the original OG mask. It's just so good. It's legitimately a perfect mask. So good. Myers is the best. He just is. I don't care. It is what it is. Myers is the best. And he's got the best mask of all time. So, y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments section. I know there's probably a lot of you who completely disagree with my list, and that is cool, and that is okay. We are all different. Y'all tell me y'all's list. I'm seriously, I want to know. I want to see y'all's list, man. Let me know which masks are your favorite, and why. And also, if anybody's list is the similar as mine, or maybe even the same as mine, dude, let me know. Let me know, because I've never seen anybody else that has a list like I do. My list is so much different than everybody else's. So anybody out there, anybody watching, if your list is very similar to mine, I'm interested in hearing from you. Also interested in hearing all of you that your list differs from mine. Either way, you guys, I super appreciate that support. If you're still here, I love you guys. Thank you so much, man. Please hit that subscribe button for me, you guys. I'd super appreciate it. Once I hit 100 subscribers, I am going to be raffling off this Hallway 78 sculpted by yours truly. All you got to do to be part of the raffle is be a subscriber. That is it. You don't have to pay for a raffle ticket. None of that. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to go live on my channel and I am going to pick a winner. I will even cover shipping. So literally all you got to do is take your finger, hit that little button that says subscribe, and you're part of the raffle, you guys, man. So once again, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Super appreciate y'all. Mike Macabre signing out. Until next time, y'all take care.